Hello and welcome back to Thrill Factor, where today I will be ranking my top 10 roller coasters. And this is the middle of 2024, and I haven't gotten on a lot of roller coasters, but here's my list. And if it looks different from yours, that's okay. We all have different opinions, and this is just the list that I came out with, and it will eventually need an update due to riding more rides. And yeah, let's get on. I think this will be fun. All right, let's start off with the number 10 spot, Tigress at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This is a premier ride, Skyrocket 2, and I just like these things. They're intense, the launches are intense, especially going backwards. And the Heartline roll at the top just gives you a feeling of weightlessness and hang time. I just think I like it better than Shikra and Falcon's Fury. Why, yes, those two rides are great. They only have one intense moment, maybe two, but this ride is intense throughout, and that's why I like it so much. So, let's go to our number 9. Alright, at our number 9 spot, we have Giant Dipper at Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Now, on our last trip to California, we rode this and I absolutely fell in love with it. I like the history behind it, how it's the 6th oldest roller coaster in the world. I think it just celebrated 100 years last year. And I like the presence that it has on the boardwalk. It gives the boardwalk liveliness. And I like this first drop right here. It gives you a bunch of airtime. I just like airtime. This is just like an airtime packed ride, even though it's old, it's smooth, it doesn't have a lot of speed. I think that's the downfall, but this little double up right here, boom, you stand right up on it, and that's why it's number 9 for me. I like it way better than the Beast, and I don't know if that's a hot take, but I'm making it a hot take. And from the Giant Dipper, we go to Millennium Force, number 8, and this is at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. Now, I really like this first drop right here, and it was my first good coaster, so couldn't go wrong with that. It goes up to speeds of 93 miles per hour, and I really like it. I like the speed that it has. I like this first turn that it has. I like the tunnel before you go into the middle, but between the middle and the end, I think that's really where it falls off. There's no real elements that define it, and that's why it's at number 8. Alright, from Millennium Force we go just across the park to Gatekeeper at Cedar Point. Now, I really like this ride because of those keyhole elements right there. It was my first Wayne coaster, so I really like it. Now, the problem that I had was the restraints. So, if you go on Val Raven, Banshee, the new next gen B&Ms, those vests kind of restrict you as you're going through the elements. But this one, it didn't really hurt me that much until this dive loop right here. And by the way, that flip over drop, if you're on the left side, is so good. Camelback on a wing coaster is kind of weird, but I don't know why you would put that there, but it's okay. I like this roll, and like I said, those keyhole elements were the best part of the ride by far, and there were a lot of near misses. Now, I will say the ride does fall apart at that mid-course break run. run? Why wouldn't you just stop after that last element is beyond me? But I still had a great ride. Let's go to number 6. This ride just misses out on the top 5, and it is Kumba at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Now, you can hear this ride from anywhere in that park. It is so intense. I love those double corkscrews. I like I like how long the ride is. I like the drop, the big vertical loop. That vertical loop was one of the tallest at 193 feet, I believe. Now, I like I like just everything on this ride, and I know a few years ago they were planning on taking it out, and I would have been really sad. But I don't know. I just really like it, except for that Cobra roll. That's a lot of head banging. And I originally had Gatekeeper in front of Kumba, and because of that part where Gatekeeper just meanders and does that helix, I like Kumba way better. It delivers on every single caliber and just barely misses out on the top 5. So, let's go see the top 5. And starting off the top 5, this is Raptor at Cedar Point, a B&M inverted coaster. Now, I really like the intensity on this. Like, if you want intense roller coaster, this is it. The Cobra roll is really good. First Cobra roll on an inverted coaster, by the way. I like the helixes. Now, the only thing that I will say really hurt the ride for me was going into the brake run, and I was in the second row, and I just got yanked and hit my head on the restraint, and it hurt. But still, the layout is amazing. I like these final corkscrews, and like I said, helix is probably the most forceful that I've ever experienced. Now, this is right now my least favorite. Alright, the reason why Raptor is my least favorite B&M inverted coaster is because the only other one that I've ridden is Montu. Now, Montu is, again, a really great roller coaster. This is number 4. And I like the drop. I like how you just get pulled through all these inversions, especially if you're in the back. The back is actually really good. But I will say I prefer the front on this ride because you get the view. If you're in the back, you just see seats in front of you. And yeah, I like the Immelman. I like the corkscrew right here. And probably my favorite inversion on any roller coaster is the Batwing right here. I like how it just pulls you towards the ground instead of the traditional Cobra roll where it flips you up towards the sky. And really, this mid-course brake run doesn't really slow down the ride at all. Like, they shouldn't even have put it there, and it would have been way better. But that's my top 4. Let's go to the podium. And winning bronze today at our number 3 spot, we have Maverick. This is a little beast, and it's just a great ride. I like how you get shot up at the lift hill. I like the 95-degree drop. I just like everything about it. Like, it's really fun, really intense. I like all these S-bends here and there. Now, there is one pop of airtime now, but everything else is just swift transitions, crazy inversions, and like, how can you not like that? I now understand why people say this is one of the best roller coasters in the world. And guess what? They were right. Alright, so now we're at the top 2. This is Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa. My former number 1. It's just as good as it gets. The build up to 2022 was probably like the most excited I ever was for a roller coaster. But man, that view that you get right before you go down the 91-degree drop, I know it be Steel Vengeance by one everything, 1 degree steep drop, 1 mile per hour faster, just one everything. Now, it is intense, it is relentless. That death roll right there, great. But I I just like full packages better, and this ride, I think they made it a tiny bit short. I like the wave turns. Every element on this is great. I like the airtime, the two airtime elements that you get. It's not as crazy as Steel Vengeance, but it's still great. But we need to give the number one to somebody else, somebody more deserving. And here's and while Iron Gwazi has the records, there's still one coaster that has the package, and that is Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. And this is my new number one. I like all the airtime. I like the inversions. I definitely think, I mean, I never rode Mean Streak, but I definitely think this is a replacement. And I know you're going to be like, of course you're going to say that. You're a coaster enthusiast. This is like everybody's number one. But I legitimately think that it's the best roller coaster out there. It has so much airtime. Everybody complains about how repetitive it is, but I'm like, be quiet. This is by far the best. So that's all for today. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, and also in the comments down below, give me your top 10 roller coasters. And at the end of the video, there will be a QR code where you can access my merch. And like always, keep coasting on.